Yeah, I was working, so 7 days a week, sleeping in the factory. I worked in the paint shop, general assembly, body shop.
You ever worry about yourself imploding? Like it's just too much?
Absolutely. No one should put this many hours into
I was
work.
listening to the ocean.
This is not good.
He just wasn't for mom. He just whatever they your babies. Welcome, everybody, to the morning broadcast. I hope you're doing absolutely wonderful. We owe him, quote, we owe him a debt of gratitude. That was Elon Musk. Says Juanita Broderick. For trying to save America. Other than Trump, nobody has worked harder. The left's persecution of Elon is evil when he's trying to save them. Juanita. No. He wasn't trying to save you. I'm sorry. No matter how much dramatic music you put to it.
Saw face
People should not work this hard. They should not do this. This is very painful.
Painful in what sense?
It hurts my brain and my heart.
It hurts my brain and my heart. Sometimes I look at my bank account and I say, that's so much money, it hurts. I'm in pain. I have to work so many hours a day and then I get more money than almost any person on the planet. It's not fair.
What a creep. What a jerk.
Now I bring that old clip up and MAGA hyping Elon Musk up for it to talk about a very sad Elon post. But before we get to that, again, welcome to the morning broadcast. To those of you joining us live, thank you for doing so. As always, if you become a member by clicking the join button on YouTube, while we're live, I'll read out your name and thank you like you deserve to be thanked. You deserve much more, but I'll thank you at least. And then our live show's coming up, July 5th, Austin, Texas. Going to meet y'all, going to speak, going to have music, going to have different entertainment. It's going to be wonderful, a Q&A. And so be there, be square, lukebeasleshow.com/live. And of course, thank you to everyone watching us on the recorded versions on YouTube and podcast platforms. Let's continue. I'll also be reading super chats as always with this. Someone named Matt posted, Doge is literally one of the most popular government initiatives in history. 73% of Americans say they support cutting government waste. Trump brought in the smartest man on earth to do it. The left destroyed Elon for it. The GOP won't vote on it. I can't believe this. Now, Doge is not the most popular thing in history. Government efficiency is the most popular idea when you poll, or is a very popular idea. So is don't kill the puppies. So is the government should do stuff. So is don't murder random children. Pretty basic stuff, right? Government should be efficient. Yeah, I would say so. I'd be okay with that. But how Doge went about not really caring about efficiency. They actually were an impediment to efficiency in many ways. But instead, it was a power grab and illegal dismantling of power-challenging institutions move. That's what caused people to not like Elon. The fact that he would be okay with destroying the lives of people while not actually saving barely any money. Somehow he figured out a way to do that. And in response, Elon Musk responded to that guy, Matt, with a very simple but very sad message. Did my best. So then is he admitting that his best is terrible? Because he didn't... Guys, he came in saying they're going to cut $2 trillion from the budget. That was what they promised. And they cut like... nothing. I mean, like, they cut enough to ruin people's lives. And I guess, given spending elsewhere, we still saw increased spending. So it wasn't even... There wasn't the waste, fraud, abuse they said. even their number's like 100 billion, and that is a bunch of fake numbers. So even that's not true. And they're about to make that number look so eensy-weensy with tax cuts for rich folks. So it's an utter failure, and he's admitting that's his best. Did my best. Be best, as Melania would encourage us. And so one more time for Elon Musk.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA.
The left wanted to make comedy illegal, you know? Like, you can't make fun of anything. So then it was like, comedy sucks. It's like, nothing's funny. You can't make fun of anything. It's like, legalize comedy. Yeah. I am become me. Legalize comedy. And
What an evil thing to do. What a creep. What a jerk.
And there it is. Goodbye, Elon. It's been nice. Gunther Eagleman. I need to figure out if that's his real name. Gunther Eagleman. Son, one day you're going to be the Eagleman of the house. You're going to be the... One day, little Gunther Jr., you're going to make some woman an honest woman. You're going to make her Miss Eagleman. He said, attention, do not donate or give a penny to the GOP. You can take it down. True. No. He said, do not donate or give a penny to the GOP until they pass the Doge cuts and codify Trump's executive orders. Not a penny. Now, I agree, because they're not going to do that. But, so don't give the Republican Party money, I guess, should be your conclusion, MAGA. I'm with Gunther Eagleman on that. And he has a trademark. Gunther Eagleman TM. Can I do that? Luke Beasley TM. Gunther Eagleman TM. That's great. We love it for him. But what's interesting is, again, the Doge cuts, that's not really a significant thing to be asking to be enshrined into law. And I guess you could try to codify the Trump executive orders, but the Republican Party can barely get his main legislative package through. So I want to hold your breath. Thank you to Cole for the super chat saying...
Clean, beautiful Cole.
There we go. Saying, fish at lake listening to Luke, good morning. Are you fishing, Cole? You know how I feel about fishing. All right, there is an update. I told you yesterday that the story of French President Emmanuel Macron being face-palmed by his wife was going viral, especially in right-wing spaces because they don't like Macron, so they focus on such things. And he's had a tough few weeks. There was the cocaine gate, and some other thing I missed, and then now this. But the cocaine gate was completely bogus, as I'll remind you. But now Macron is explaining the shocking viral video of his wife slapping him in the face. He said, my wife, and I'll show you the video again, but my wife and I were squabbling. We were rather joking, and I was taken by surprise. But this has become a kind of planetary catastrophe, he says. And he's saying none of this is true about it being some huge thing. Everyone needs to calm down. And in these 3 videos, I took a tissue, shook someone's hand, and just joked with my wife. Nothing more. He needs to stop saying joked. Because listen, Macron. I don't care about this much, to be honest with you. But it wasn't super jokey vibes, as maybe you'll be able to see here as it zooms forward. It looked pretty, I don't really joke. Maybe they have kind of like a rough, like a rough fun. It's fun and it's rough and it's playful and it's kind of normal. She just like nails his chin. But like, I just would be mindful of the fact that, especially from the public's point of view, that doesn't look good. And hopefully we're not getting any more physical than that. But I know nothing about this couple practically, so who am I to say? Captain Chaos said the words trillions and billions basically mean nothing anymore, or maybe that's the number of lies from this administration. So true. So true. Now, the funny part about this is with anything now, AI steps in and says, hey, let me make this funny. That was Macron being brutally slapped in a slap competition by his wife there, Bridget. Now, he referenced the tissue in his statement about the slap or the shove, and it was this video that, again, particularly right-wing accounts were obsessed with, because I usually assume there's an explanation for something like this. They're not just going to have a bag of Coke, just Coke sitting around, but this is in slow motion, and you'll watch Macron sitting. He's there with the UK Prime Minister, I think, and somebody else, and he grabs what was supposed to be the bag of Coke and hides it. And it's wow. And then right-wing accounts like Dinesh D'Souza said, reposting this, notice how Macron moves with the dexterity of a professional drug dealer. Look at him. Trust me, I know people's body language. And this is the body language of someone who drug deals as the president and who gets shoved in the face by his wife. I can tell. Look, ready? Boom. Boom. There's no argument. Except for on that one, very much was, if you get, I mean, that's obviously a tissue. That's just a tissue. It's a tissue. Look at it. I mean, unless in the tissue there was Coke. I don't snort cocaine.
I don't snort cocaine.
Thank you. Now when I want a soundbite, I'll just do the soundbite and then it'll trigger it for Cole. All right, a fun little moment of lightheartedness. Picture yourself, you're in Brazil and you're watching Nuns. And then this happens, okay? You're not ready for this. That's what I love. You're thinking, Luke, what are you doing? Just some Brazilian nuns singing? Okay. Just wait, okay? Just you trust me, right? Wait. The nun is beatboxing. Hello? I didn't know nuns could be that fun.
Rapaz, que é isso?
Gente, é um show de talento. Vocação, vocação,
vocação.
That's cool. Sign me up for that, nuns.
What the hell was that?
Hey, Trump, that's not very nice of you. This is interesting. A Democratic congressional candidate, featured AI to say, look how fake we are. That's how fake the candidate is.
I'm a fake person made by AI prompts. I may look real and sound real, but there's nothing authentic about me. In that way, I'm a lot like young Kim.
Ooh, that's brutal. You didn't know where it was going, but then boom, it hits you with that.
She pretends to be balanced, but she's almost as fake as I am. And I'm made of prompts.
Young Kim's prompts are written by lobbyists, and mine are written by social media interns.
I'm Esther Kim Barrett, and I'm a real person. I'm running for Congress to represent California's 40th district, and I approve this message.
I'm a fake person made by AI prompts.
And now I guess it's being played again for some reason. But that's a pretty interesting idea. It's a pretty interesting idea. I like it. You know how yesterday we talked about Trump's insane Memorial Day post? And take a look at Fox reading it while footage is literally being played that is contrasted disgustingly against Trump's vicious message.
President Trump posting to Truth Social this morning saying, quote, Happy Memorial Day, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped radical left minds who allowed 21 million people to enter the country.
He's laying a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery. And listen to the words they're having to quote that he was saying on Memorial Day.
Radical left minds who allowed 21 million people to enter the country illegally, many of them criminals, the mentally insane, through an open border that only an incompetent president would approve. As you can see here, President Trump laying the wreath at Arlington National Cemetery.
Oh, that contrast is brutal. We have breaking news. Donald Trump is laying a wreath at Arlington National Cemetery for Memorial Day, and I'm now going to read what he said, his words, on this Memorial Day morning. Welcome, everybody. There are some sick people in this country, demented, sick, bags of crap. On this Memorial Day, I want to remember that when you look in most people's eyes, behind it is a vicious, soulless, satanic human who would watch you gasp as their fingers strangled your throat and every ounce of life drained out of you. Happy Memorial Day, MAGA. And there he is, laying the wreath. What a beautiful morning.
Why are you the way that you are?
It's bizarre. Donald Trump pardoned a former sheriff convicted of bribery. While we talk about that, or before we do, let me quickly thank Motor for the super chat, saying, what did the five fingers say to the face? Slap. Nice. Let's see. Sigi became a member. Thank you so much by clicking the join button on YouTube. I appreciate it greatly. And then Pondering Politics himself said, love the Luke Beasley morning broadcast. Be sure to like and subscribe.
I love you back.
There we go. All right. So U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a pardon to a former Virginia sheriff who was convicted on fraud and bribery charges. Scott Jenkins was found guilty of accepting more than $75,000 in bribes last December in exchange for making several businessmen into law enforcement officers without them being trained. Jenkins, a longtime supporter of Trump, was sentenced in March to 10 years in prison. And now he's being pardoned. He was bribed. He done be bribed, okay? It happened. He was convicted. There was strong evidence. And now, because I guess he's a Trump supporter, is that just the get out of jail free card, literally, now in our country, which is you just say nice things about Trump and bippity poppity boo, you're out of jail. And Trump's quote was something about, Biden, the victim of an overzealous Biden Department of Justice, Trump said.
It's Joe Biden.
It's always Joe Biden. It's always Joe Biden. You're constipated, it's Joe Biden. You get run over, your toe gets run over as your significant other rages and pulls out of the driveway, it's Joe Biden. You're the Duck Dynasty guy and you won't just get medication for your erectile dysfunction because you believe God will fix it?
It's Joe Biden.
There we go. Or maybe he got bribed. Maybe that's what happened. It wasn't Joe Biden's weaponized, overzealous. I love that. It's just so overzealous. It's just so, they were so passionate and aggressive about like fighting crime. It was weird. They were like, hey, don't be bribed. It was weird. They were like, hey, don't kill people. But like a lot, they were really, really mad when people would do crimes. It was confusing. Like, all right, maybe we don't love if someone's bribed, but like, don't get so upset at them. Does that make sense? Like, all right, somebody paid a prostitute to seduce and record their brother having sex and cheating on their wife so that they could have blackmail on them. But like, that's not great. But do you know what I mean? We don't want to go overboard. We don't want to live in a country. We don't want to live in a country where you can't even be bribed one time, you know, or like you can't even get blackmail dirt of your brother, or was it sister, cheating on their husband with a prostitute, or vice versa, or the brother, or something like that. I'm quoting the Kushner story. We don't want to make it feel like you can't even you can't even drop a rock off of a building onto someone's head, like even one single time. We have to have, do you know what I mean about second chances? We have to have second chances for people, but like give them the second chance first. Does that make sense? I feel like you're confused. And Biden was just so overboard. He was, what's the kid phrase? He was extra. He was so extra with all this, don't do crime. It was annoying. Weaponized government. Sarah Starbell, thank you so much for becoming a member by clicking the join button on YouTube. All right. A guy named Elijah Schaefer, who's just publicly terrible, privately in the rumor mill, is a nasty, nasty person, from what I hear from my sources. But he also thinks that he's onto something here. He said, this is why young men are converting to Orthodox / Catholicism. And this is the video that's supposedly pushing people towards a more traditional form of Christianity, because Christianity is gone woke. This service is about to get crazy, like epic, right? It's going to be really fun. You can leave my screen, Jade. Just get ready. Imagine in your head what you think is about to happen. It's better. Yeah. Jesus is here. Hey, ring, ring. Who's that? Jesus. I'm at the door. Hey, mommy, is that the real Jesus? Or is that like a mall Jesus, like the mall Santas? Okay, it's not real Jesus. What if it is, though? Are we going to go to hell if we don't treat him like real Jesus? I don't know what this is. An angel or something? My gosh, I didn't realize these mega churches are turning into like Cirque du Soleil. That's awesome. Just like someone, and now it's Moses, and it's like swinging on acrobatic things and spinning around. Pyro, this is epic. Now, what's funny is he thinks Elijah is onto something, because he's saying they're going so crazy and Jesus is walking out like, hello. And there's some big animal type thing with a wing, not animal, but like some creature. Yeah, creature. And that's what's pushing people away from Christianity, or converting, I guess, to other forms. The truth is, we've seen a trajectory, a clear present trajectory, which is that people have, a lot of people have moved away in the United States from Christianity. There's still a lot of Christians, but I think that production is the effort to try to make it more appealing to a wider audience of people. Because the more traditional types of churches were losing a lot of followers. And so then they started saying, well, maybe if we have Jesus walk out and huge lights and explosions, and if it's like, check under your seat, you got a new car, right? Like stuff like that, then people would be more excited to go to church. I think they're trying their best. They're trying their best to win people over. I think this is the Phil that I know. It is, yeah. Oh, let me follow back. There we go. Sorry. Phil, who I spoke to at the Tim Pool podcast. And I found this video just humorous. He said, get outside and train. I don't know what we're training for, but we're training nevertheless. Let's see what the training looks like.
Hey!
Yeah. Okay. right, so now picture someone shooting at him. And let's see how long it takes him to get that next clip in. All right, shooting. He's dodging. He's switching, and he's ready. And more shots. Boom. Took the guy out. But now he's waiting. He's monitoring. He's checking his surroundings. Get out and train for the apocalypse. And now he's still wandering. I don't know what we're doing here. I thought he's switching another clip. Now he's going to the ground. He's picking up the clip. He could have just not thrown on the ground in the first place. But now he's putting it back in his bag for later. He's ready though. Like if anyone were to shoot at him. And now it's going in his pants to shoot his crotch off. That's good. I think that was great. Look at him. Put it back. Look at him. He's like, that was tough. Yeah, put that out, Jaden. That's good. That's hard work. That's hard work. Now, I'm only laughing because I'm sure if we had a shoot-off contest, or whatever you call it, one of those like 1, 2, 3, 4, then he would win. I think he would win. And I've shot guns before, obviously. I mean, look at me, of course. But I'm not like the best at guns, as you could probably also tell by looking at me or listening to me. But I'm sure he's more talented. I'm sure he's very talented at the shooting of things and hopefully not people, but images of people. But I just don't know why. I guess is how I would put it. Get outside and train. I'm just wondering, it's not even me being silly. For what? Are we planning on going to war? Is he in the military? Maybe he's in the military. That would make sense. You know, I'm realizing in real time. Pronouns and Oxford commas, anti-communist and counter. It doesn't say in his bio. Maybe he's ex-military. That would make sense. Maybe he's keeping things sharp. But you see a lot of people who aren't and are always training. Like Don Jr. Striking fear into the hearts of liberals. It's like, yeah, okay. I obviously want people in the military to be training their ass off, but just found that video humorous. Speaking of humorous, first Captain Chaos said, "Is this his first day of training?" I don't know why we're. I don't know. Speaking of humors, here's Alex Jones. Okay. And he is worried that Trump is not being notified. We talked before about how Trump is now finally upset with Putin, saying something happened to Putin. What happened to him? As if Putin hasn't been the aggressor this whole time. Now Trump's realizing, wait, he might not want peace. And Alex Jones thinks that Trump is being misled into believing that. And really, Putin is just totally reasonable. And he's taken another one of these out on site video. He never has time to like go into his studio. He's always in a car or on the beach or in the woods or in the water with his shirt off, and he just wants you to know he does things, and he has a suit behind him just in case anything comes up.
Is Trump being kept in the dark about...
Why are your eyes so weird? I don't even know what to do about this. It feels mean. You look like a lunatic, okay? It's just not... Just look, no. Why can't people just look? Ready, Alex? Is Trump being kept in the dark? Do you see how I just look like a normal person? You look like you're a conspiracy theorist.
Is Trump being kept in the dark?
Yeah, put the other one up.
About the attempted assassination of Vladimir Putin while he was in eastern Ukraine by 48 kamikaze drones. Now, it's in the local regional news in Ukraine and Russia that he was there and these drones almost hit his helicopter. The Russian general has reported it. The Russian news has reported it. And they've been sending a lot of drones into Russia, actually intensifying that as well, even hitting Moscow.
Is Trump being kept in the dark? Is he? Do they not want him to know? Do they not want him to know that really Nancy Pelosi tried to kill Putin. She was personally on a drone. She was riding a drone like a mother-loving bat. And she personally went and tried to assassinate Putin herself. Nancy Pelosi, yes, that Nancy. Why doesn't the deep state want Trump to know that?
On a daily basis. But Trump comes out today and says this is a new Putin. He's killing a lot of innocent people. He's bombing major cities, and I don't know what's going on. And basically, this is a new Putin. That's got people saying, "Oh, it's a clone. They killed Putin and replaced him." Stuff like that. That's not what Trump's saying.
I love how he gives away the social circle season. And everyone's saying that, oh, they replaced Putin with a body double. And I'm like, no, that's not true. It's like, no one's saying that in our world. I haven't heard that. Just you, Alex, and the people you hang with.
But it is true that if Putin doesn't engage in, hardcore actions, the Russian establishment will remove him. It is true that Putin is a stabilizing force overall. Even mainline Western analysts agree on that for a very long time. But here's the larger issue. There was a big scandal 8 years ago. You can pull up the articles. The chief of staff in the White House's job is keeping Trump away from InfoWars and Alex Jones and others. And they were trying to keep me and others away from him that were telling him things that they were keeping him in the dark about. I don't think Trump knows about the attempted assassination on Putin. It's not been that I've seen, I just checked a minute ago, in the U.S. or Western news.
So I obviously don't think because it could start a war that the United States should assassinate Putin. But if Putin were flying in a helicopter and arg, dang it, his wing broke and it flew, I would be happy. Can I say that? Is that calling? No, it's not. I'm saying I wish him the best. And by the best, I mean, I wish he would not be alive. That doesn't sound right. Something sounds off about that. I wouldn't be sad. Is that fine? I think that's fine. I wouldn't be sad if Putin happened to trip and fall under a train. This sounds like I'm saying something that violates terms of service. Let me word it a different way. I wouldn't be sad if Putin didn't know how to swim and fell into the ocean. This sounds wrong. I feel like I'm saying something wrong. Let me put it this way. I wouldn't be sad if one of Putin's, I don't know, I imagine he has sex women who he has sex with. If one of them put a sleepy time shot in his foot while they were sleeping, and then he didn't wake up, maybe is how I'd put it. So my point is, I wouldn't be sad if someone assassinated him. Yeah, I think that's pretty. Yeah, that's how I feel. And also, I'm not calling for violence because none of you should do that. Can you imagine? You're like, Luke brought this up. No, don't do that. And U.S. government don't do it. But if he tripped and fell and his head, fine. I'd be. You know what he should do is ride a horse, but then maybe as he's getting off the horse, he spooks the horse and the horse kicks him in the head, and then he kind of just is done. From the life standpoint, would be maybe how I feel. Kara said, "Proud of you for getting out here and putting real news in the air." Funny time to read that. You remind me of my nephews, smart kids using their brains for good. Thank you. Don't love being called a kid, but I love your message and I appreciate it. Krista has been a member for a full year, baby. Woo! Luke, happy to make a live stream. Watch you every day. Thank you for making us laugh, yet be informed. You are awesome. Hey, Jaden and Cole. Hey, Jaden and Cole. With a heart. Hello. They say hello back. And then thank you so much for being a member. And then Jenny says, is Alex single? I get Dungeon in the House vibes from him. It puts the lotion in the MAGA hat. What does that mean? It puts the lotion in the MAGA hat. Do you know what that means? I don't know what that means. But I do understand what you mean about the Dungeon in the House vibes. But let me make this very clear. I do not think that Alex is keeping hordes of people in a dungeon in his house. I do not think that he tortures animals in a dungeon and laughs while he does so. I do not believe those things. I do not believe that Alex Jones has killed even one single person. Not even one single one. Not even like a little person. Not even a kid. Not even a little person. Like, just nobody. I don't think he's even killed a single person and buried it in his backyard. In a 4.5 foot deep grave. I don't think he did even one of those things. None of them. By the way, he mentioned the assassination attempt. To be frank with you, I was looking into that. They didn't provide, so it was a Russian commander who claimed that there was like a bunch of drones, as something is brutally in my eye. This is tough. This is just unfortunate. I'll get it later. A Russian commander claimed that a bunch of drones surrounded Putin's helicopter, and then Putin like, oh yeah, survived, woohoo. And come on. When you're driving and you like a car barely goes in front of you, like it wasn't that big of a deal, but it kind of scared you slightly. And so then the first person you tell the story to, you're like, the car swerved right at me and I dodged it. And then the second person you tell the story to, you say like your car flipped over 3 times, and then you somehow and then the third person you tell the story to, you say that it swerved and then it spun and then you jumped out of the sunroof and landed on your feet. I feel like that's kind of this Putin story where there was like a bird that kind of like hit the helicopter. And that was the first story, and it scared them. And then it became a drone, and then it became multiple drones, and it became Putin personally got out like Mission Impossible style, and like kicked the drones away and like threw a tomahawk at one of them. It gives me those vibes because no other independent outlets report or confirmed that this happened, and it was just a Russian commander claiming it, and he didn't provide any evidence, and he hasn't since. So it feels a little like he's trying to drum up support for him, and oh, poor Putin almost died, but he didn't. Oh, we'd all be so sad. Make sure to get your live show tickets, by the way. Jaden was reminding us of that. Link in the description. It's going to be epic. And then Alex Jones I don't know if he's, now I have to say, I don't know if he's getting Russian money because some of the people actually are getting Russian money now. We found out. But they didn't know, and it was really hard, and people would just... I was a victim because they would come and they would say, take this money, take it. And I would say, okay. And then they would say, take more money. And I would go, okay. And it was like, so I didn't even give them my consent to give me that much money. Was sort of the defense from Benny Johnson, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, etc., which we believe and we trust them with our hearts. So that's good. But Alex probably isn't taking Russian money. He's making enough from like pee-pee pills that he sells to his audience. It's so funny too because it'll be like, the globalist deep state wants to personally destroy your life. If you haven't put armed guards around your house, then you're gonna have Kamala Harris personally climb through the window and stab all of your children. Now for a quick break. You gotta get these penis pills. They make it hard as a rock. Have you ever wanted a hard rock? This will get you a hard rock. Back to the show. Pedophiles are killing everyone. It's like, whoa. It's a little abrupt, Alex. But anyways, he, I guess, for free is doing Russia's bidding, is my point in all of that. And he said the NATO attempt 2 days ago to shoot down Putin's helicopter. Well, first of all, he put shoot down, period. And then Putin's helicopter has had the desired effect. Massive escalation of war. So, shockingly, I don't know if you could have guessed this, not the best with grammar, but he said the NATO attempt 2 days ago to shoot down Putin's helicopter has had the desired effect. Massive escalation of the war. There is no evidence at this point in time that NATO tried to shoot down the helicopter of Putin. He just kind of assumed that. Like, if there were we don't know that yet. They haven't provided any evidence. You would think there would be evidence. Like something. Bullet, videos, etc. Maybe you shot one of the drones down and you were able to obtain it. But we just have the Russians' word, who are, you know how Alex Jones loves false flag operations whenever there's not false flag operations? Russia notoriously does actual false flag operations, like proved multiple times that they do. And he never assumes they're the ones doing the false flag operation. Come on, buddy. Aren't you the false flag guy? But he's just, you would imagine if that did happen, it would maybe be, it could be independent Ukrainians. It could be the Ukrainian government. But it's quite the jump to say it would be NATO. Who knows?
It was the deep state 100%.
Yeah. I didn't know you are getting so many. Look at you, little shamushy. You gushy. Producer Cole's getting a packed soundboard. I love it. Thank you so much to Chrissy Bayerhelm for becoming a member by clicking the join button on YouTube. I appreciate it so very much. And so this is, if it's the case that Putin is exaggerating or making up the story for his own purposes, Alex is just running right with it, which is what he does so well. Scott Pelley, the 60 Minutes host and CBS host, spoke at a commencement address and had some strong words for Trump.
But in this moment, this morning, our sacred rule of law is under attack. Journalism is under attack. Universities are under attack. Freedom of speech is under attack. And insidious fear is reaching through our schools, our businesses, our homes, and into our private thoughts. The fear to speak in America. Power can rewrite history with grotesque, false narratives. They can make criminals heroes and heroes criminals. Power can change the definition of the words we use to describe reality.
Yeah, all of that is absolutely correct and powerful stuff there from Scott. And he has really good speaking skills. I just wish he had as good speaking skills as our president.
As a linguist, translator, and cryptologic technique.
You know, there's certain nuances Trump's able to put into his articulation of things.
Cryptologic.
Yeah.
Will repeat your...
Yeah, that's right. I think that's where I'll leave it for this morning's broadcast. I appreciate all of you so very much. Sorry if I missed any things. Motion VIP 2016 said, Luke, you're awesome, brother. Congrats on your success. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone for watching. I'll talk to you next time.